Hey everyone, Alex Fan coming at you with another video. Today I'm going to talk about Ultraman Orb, and here's basically my biggest complaint about Ultraman Orb, and that is Ultraman Orb, for the past three monsters, they have taken two-part episodes, and Ultraman Orb has gotten defeated by these three monsters, and they've had to come up with an excuse to make a two-parter each time, and I'll be getting to my biggest complaint again, or at least why I'm complaining about this. So pretty much, if you look to the Ultraman Orb series, Ultraman Orb was focused around the Maga monsters. You know, each time Ultraman Orb would defeat a Maga monster, Ultraman Orb or Guy would get like a new card to go with their power-ups, but you also have Jugless Juggler who gets a card from the monster too. So you have Guy and Jugless Juggler basically competing against each other to get all the cards, and you get this really just beautiful build-up to Maga Orochi. You know, it starts off where Jugless Juggler joins like the kind of planetary invasion force, but they double cross them, and Jugless Juggler actually defeats all of them, except for Alien Metron, of course. But anyway, Jugless Juggler, he defeats all of them, and that's when he pretty much steals all their cards, along with the Maga cards, and releases Maga Orochi. Now, Maga Orochi was really great because he had build-up from the first episode with the monster Maga Basser. So, again, they use all the Maga cards to form and release Maga Orochi. And you have Maga Orochi, he's going around destroying the city, and Ultraman Orb has to defeat him, right? And it takes Ultraman Orb a two-part series and even a new form, Thunder Breaststar, to defeat Maga Orochi. And after you just have this really intense and great storyline right here, you're like, okay, I just got through with Maga Orochi. Time to kind of just relax and kind of take things a bit more slowly until the next major threat pops up. And then you go to the next episode, and the monster's Galactron, and Galactron appears, and Ultraman Orb instantly cannot defeat him. So you're like, wait, what? I mean, Ultraman Orb just got through fighting Maga Orochi, you know, a really tough opponent. Now he's already back fighting another tough opponent. So after he fights Galactron, you're like, okay, you know, now he's gonna switch to Thunder Breaststar this time. Not sure why he didn't just start off with it. And now he's easily defeated Galactron, you know. Now it's time for us to kind of just take a little slow step. Then you go to the next, more recent episode of Ultraman Orb that came out today, and he has a Panda, and like, oh, it's Zeton and Panda combined. Yeah, it's gonna be a two-parter, isn't it? And then instantly you can tell it's a two-parter episode, and I am just like, Ultraman Orb, what are you doing? Like, you are having these two-part episodes each time. Now, again, I love a good two-part episode. You know, we've seen a lot of great episodes that were two-parters, like the Geoshark / Evil Tiga storyline, the Katanazoa storyline, or you got the Ace Killer episode, or the Robot, well, actually, Robot Ultra 7 wasn't a two-parter. I mean, or the Alien Guts episode, or King Joe, you know, that was two-parter episodes really great, because they just kind of appeared, and they were always a delight to watch. But with Ultraman Orb, two-part episodes, they're not really that fun anymore, because now it's just like it's so common for there to appear. The reason why two-part episodes were so great is because the series would have these kind of mediocre fights, and then once you get to the two-part episodes, like, you just think like, oh snap, this is where stuff really gets real. Like, everything for Ultra 7 or Ultraman or whatever the character is has been like pretty much a test or a trial to put them to the test, or everything's been really easy for them. But when you get to that two-part episode, you're like, oh man, this is where our main hero is really going to be put up to the test. Like, yeah, Ultra 7, he's been able to defeat all these monsters, but as soon as Alien Guts comes down from this outer space, you're like, oh man, this is where Ultra 7, yeah, he's going to be really put to the test in this episode. Same thing with King Joe. But the thing is that Ultraman Orb is having all these, you know, two-part episodes. Like, I was looking at how Ultraman X had that one monster, again, I can never think of its name, but it's like the blue monster, again, I always forget its name, but basically, I was looking at how Ultraman X had a really big threat early on this series. Ultraman Orb had a big threat early on the series, but at least, you know, but here, it's just getting repetitive with these two-part episodes. Like, that's if you had Ultraman Ginga, and you made Five King the main villain. You know, if you look at Ultraman Ginga, Five King had so much build-up, just like Maga Orochi had so much build-up. They were like the main villains and like the half part of the series, you know? Like, whenever you watch an Ultraman series in this day and age, there's like the big threat, like the final threat, but there's like that threat in between the show. Like, kind of like how Dark Zagi was like in between Ultraman Ginga, the first series, but, you know, he was, like, the main threat for that half part of the series, so you could get that really intense action. Well, that's what I liked about Ultraman Ginga and Ultraman Ginga S. It had that villain that was, like, in the middle of the series that was, like, a two-parter or a movie, like Dark Zagi and Five King, you know, they had so much build-up. And I was expecting Maga Orochi to be the same thing, where it's like that big villain at the middle part of the series, middle half of the series, or something like that. But here, you already have Galactron as a panda, and they're already, like, two-parters themselves. And I'm just like, wow, this is just really bad in my opinion. Like, no build-up, it's just, I don't know, I just feel like this could have been so much better. You know, because of these two-part episodes, there's, like, no enthusiasm anymore for me to Ultraman, or at least not that much, because it's not like, oh my god, this is exciting. Like, two-part episodes were so exciting because they always appear, like, twice or three times in the series at most. Not, like, three times consistently. Like, that's the thing. Whenever you have, like, a two-part episode, it's like, wow, after that big threat, I think we gotta give the series a rest. But no, the series doesn't even get that little momentum. It just keeps on going with the two-part episodes, the 3-episode straights, and that's why when we look at the next episode, it's gonna have, you know, Ultraman Orb in his origin mode. Now, Ultraman Orb is basically doing what Ultraman Ginga and Ultraman X have done. You know, they give an Ultra a new form. Ultraman Ginga got the Ginga Storium form. You know, it looked really cool. It had the shining armor. Ultraman X got Exceed X, and that looked really good. And then you got Ultraman Orb, and he gets the Origin form, and it looks just like the base form, which was Tiga Ultraman, just without the purple. You know, I mean, yeah, it looks so standard. I mean, I get it. It's called Origin mode, but in the first episode, it showed him with that glitter. Like, he was in, like, his shiny mode, similar to, like, Tiga in his glitter mode. So I was expecting the form to be looking really cool, but instead it looks just a standard Ultraman, you know, just red, silver, blue eyes. That's all it takes, you know. It's not like the other forms where it's like super cool and dynamic. You know, that was what was really cool with Ultraman Orb, is that they had so many cool and unique looking forms. And then the really standard form was again the Ultraman / Ultraman Tiga form, which I'm trying to think what was the name. Already I'm forgetting their names right now. The Specium Ziparian. Basically, Ultraman Orb Origin is Specium Ziparian, just without the purple, in all honesty. You may also find some other differences, but to me, they look so similar to me, you know? I already knew Ultraman Orb Origin was coming out, and I didn't really make a video on it because, you know, I didn't see it in action, really. I saw it in action, like, the episode preview that they showed today. But the thing is, now since I, like, look at Orb Origin from, like, a serious perspective, it's basically Specium Ziparian just without the purple, you know? It looks so basic. I mean, I don't know. You know, Ultraman Orb, it's gone uphill with that Maga Orochi episode. I saw people on Geeks for Geeks saying this is where Ultraman Orb is at its prime. But now I'm looking at it like, oh, wait, yeah, this is just... Decisions could have been better. Like, I have no problem with the Galactron as a Panda episodes, but maybe if you had, like, 2, maybe even 1 episode in between to kind of just shift that momentum a bit downward so you could give the audience a ton of time to relax from that epic, amazing build-up of Maga Orochi. Like, Maga Orochi had, like, what, like 10 episodes of build-up? And here comes Galactron. He doesn't even have a single episode of build-up. He does have a single episode of build-up. But what I mean is Galactron just comes down from the sky, Ultraman Orb fights him, and you think he's going to be like that standard monster that the Ultraman's going to fight like every other monster in an Ultraman series. But it turns out to be that two-parter villain. And you're like, wait, Galactron, he didn't even have any build-up. He just popped up and instantly he is kicking Ultraman Orb's butt. Like, what the heck? And then when it comes down to Ultraman Orb, whenever he fights this monster, I can understand with Maga Orochi because he didn't have the Thunder Breast R form. But now, whenever Ultraman Orb goes into battle, he always starts out with the Specium Ziparian form. And I love Specium Ziparian, you know. Specium Ziparian looks really awesome, in my opinion, you know. I also really like his theme. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Anyway, but my point is that Specium Ziparian is like his base form, and each time he starts out with it, he tries to fight the monster, like Galactron or Maga Orochi or Zapandon. He tries to fight them in Specium Ziparian form, but at this point, what's the whole point of Specium Ziparian when you have Thunder, when you have like Burn Might or Zero or Zero Slash or whatever it's called. These days, I'm sorry, I can never remember these other forms and their names for some reason. I should have just looked at a bunch of pictures and remembered their names. But my point is, well, that's the whole point of these kind of podcast videos, is that you don't have to remember everything. But my point is that basically, with the other two forms that he has, like the Zero and Jack form, and the Taro and Mebius form, what's the whole point of even using Specimens of Parian if it does even, like, help you? Like, each time he uses that form, now, like, at the beginning of the series, it was really powerful, you know? He was able to defeat monsters with that form. But ever since, you know, like, the other forms were introduced, it's almost become like Specimens of Parian, which is just kind of a useless base form. It's like Goku almost, you know, when Goku, he tries to fight the opponent in base form nowadays. That's like if, you know, Goku tried to fight, I don't know, like Cell or Boo in his base form. It's like, what's the point? You're just gonna lose. Like, what's the whole point of even doing it in base form? You know, but I could at least, anyways, I'm going to stop comparing it to Dragon Ball Z. But my point is that Specimens of Parian is useless as all heck. Burmite is just used for the story in Burmite. It's not used for anything else. The Zero Slash or whatever it's called, I'm kind of going to have, like, the name at the bottom because I keep on forgetting its name. I mean, that one is pretty decent, but at the same time, he always gets his staff knocked out of his hands, so it's like, there's no point. I mean, Zapandan today just literally absorbed the staff that he uses, so it's like, yeah, that's gone, finito. And now it appears that even, what's-his-face, Thunder Breaststar is becoming useless. It's almost like Ultraman X, you know? When Ultraman X got the X-Seed X, it's almost like all the monster armors became useless. Like, literally, Ultraman X had so much build-up to, like, the Bemstar or the Ella King monster armor, but once he got the X-Seed X, all the other monster armor forms became very useless until the very end of the series, you know, when he had to fight Gariza. So I feel like Ultraman Orb is going that exact same route because Super Eye Productions in this day and age tries to fit in so many gimmicks. But the thing is, I really liked X-Seed X and Ultraman X. Like, Ultraman X, he looked really different. Like, Ultraman X started out with this white and silver Ultra, but he had this really just kind of futuristic machine kind of design. And then X-Seed X was just all silver. And then you got Orb Origin, and he looks just like Specimens of Parian, yet he's a lot stronger. So, I'm just over here thinking, wow, I mean, this new design, apparently it's like the new Orb form, you know, it's Orb Origin, you know, I guess it looks pretty cool, but I mean, it's not even, like, that cool looking, in my opinion. It looks so standard, it looks so generic and mediocre, in my opinion. I feel like they could have gone with a better design, but oh well, that's just me, in my opinion. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Bye.
星空へ思いを馳せる諦めるなその勇気で限界を超えろ世界中が君を待っている闇を照らせ光の戦士よ世界中が君を見つめてる二つのパワー